Hello everybody, and welcome to the first episode of this series, War Machines. This tournament will be run on the video game Robot Arena 2, which happened to be created by Good Robotal, so credit to him for creating the mods that makes this tournament possible. This competition is going to consist of 96 competitors, where most of them competed in the recent season of BattleBots, but there are also a few competitors from battlebots, the classic series BattleBots, and Robot Wars. Some of the Robot Wars examples include Apollo and competitors from Series 3 through 7. Now, these are what are available for me to use through the mods created. This competition will be run very similar to Robot Wars Series 5 if you have seen that, as there will be 12 heats that includes 8 competitors each, and the competitor to win three matchups will automatically get a spot in the semifinals. One difference between this tournament and Series 5 of Robot Wars is that the runner-up of every heat will get a chance to fight in a last chance episode where they will compete in one of 4 rumbles, and if they win that rumble, it's like a wild card. They will get a spot in the semifinals. So basically these are the basics of the tournament, and if you have any questions about this, reply with them down below at the end of the video, and I will try to answer it as soon as possible. So I posted the bracket that you see up here, which includes Heat A, on my Instagram a day or two before I release this episode. So if you would like to see this preview for every single episode, be sure to follow my Instagram account in the green square if you don't already. So leading off this series in Heat A, going off of the bracket there, we'll lead it off with Cobalt and Marvin, 2 competitors from the recent season of BattleBots. The winner of that will take on the following winner, which is a flipper battle between SubZero and Technodestructo. Following that, will be Ribbot and Berg, Too Furious. Berg, Too Furious being a battlebots competitor, and then we'll end the first round with a battle between Son of Wayachi and Robot Wars competitor Firestorm. So let's get to our first matchup. We got Cobalt and Marvin. Let the bot battle begin, as we got Cobalt coming after Marvin. Kind of a stalemate at first, as Cobalt's trying to get underneath Marvin, not having a lot of success at that right now. Cobalt nearly sends themselves into the rail. And now Cobalt's getting underneath Marvin, lands its first big shot, and another big one. And now Cobalt getting underneath, and off comes a wheel of Marvin. Marvin's definitely going to have a lot of trouble here if they can only drive on one wheel. They're definitely going to have a hard time winning this fight. Cobalt backs right into the tire, opening up the pit. Cobalt almost turns themselves over in that fight. They got to be careful of that. Now another big shot. Cobalt trying to put Marvin in the pit. Marvin nearly drives himself in the pit. Cobalt nearly put them there. And into the pit goes Marvin, ending this fight. With that victory, Cobalt moves on to the next round and will take on the winner of our next battle, where we have SubZero taking on Technodestructo. Should be an interesting battle between the flipper bots. Let the flipper battle begin. Technodestructo getting underneath SubZero early, going in for a flip. So far, Technodestructo looks like they're struggling just to be able to flip SubZero over. There's a flip. SubZero self-rides. Now Technodestructo getting underneath SubZero again. Can they flip them over again? They do. And looks like they're keeping the pressure on SubZero, pushing them into the corner. SubZero's going to need to be able to get out of there. Good start for Technodestructo. SubZero self-rides and finally manages to get underneath Technodestructo, and now Technodestructo is the one that's stuck in the corner. And now they're pinned against the wall. This could be big trouble for them. Technodestructo now getting counted out. Oh, they gotta get out of that corner fast before their countdown gets to 0, and they do. Technodestructo was off to a good start, but it looks like SubZero is now turning the tables here as we approach the halfway point in this fight. Now there goes SubZero, launched high up in the air. Or excuse me, Technodestructo. Now Technodestructo trying to use that flipper again. Looks like it's not always the strongest, not always able to have the power to flip SubZero over. This could be a big problem and could affect them if this goes to a judge's decision. As SubZero flips them over again. Technodestructo back in the corner. They got to get out of that now, and they got to be able to provide more offense here if this was to go to the judges. Techno gets some breathing room. Now they're underneath SubZero again. Push SubZero into the tire where the pit will open. Here we go. Techno get another flip in. Less than 30 seconds to go in this fight. Pushing them right near the floor after 15 seconds left to go in this fight. And, uh-oh, SubZero's underneath. Can they get him in the pit? And they're in. That's going to do it for this fight, as SubZero will advance to the next round where they will fight Cobalt. Next up, we got Ribbot and Berg Too Furious. Let the bot battle begin, as here comes Ribbot after Berg Too Furious. Ribbot so far winning these exchanges, getting underneath Berg Too Furious. I'm just going to call him Berg now. So Ribbot knocking Berg against the rails there. Looks like that's pieces of Berg's drum spinner that's lying against the wall there. That could be big trouble for them. Ribbot all over Berg from the start here. But Ribbot gets flipped over themselves, not after losing a piece of their spinner. More weapon-on-weapon collisions here. More pieces of Ribbot's spinner going flying. This could be big trouble if Ribbot loses their spinner in this fight. Now the Berg back on their... And now a big exchange that results in both bots being flipped over. And now the Berg, could they be taking control? Nope. Ribbot gets the Berg in the corner again. Berg's got to get out of there. Ribbot goes flying again, but then flipped over. Ribbot's got to self-right here if they are to have much better control of this fight. This could be a turning point here. Ribbot just struggling to flip back over, and now they finally accomplished that. And are right back on the attack. Ribbot near the pit. They don't want to fall in there. The Berg gonna push them in, and the Berg will take the win. Berg Too Furious will move on and will match up against the winner of our next battle, as we got Son of Wayachi taking on Firestorm. Here we go, time for Son of Wayachi versus Firestorm. The bot battle begin. Firestorm looking to get underneath that spinner of Son of Wayachi, preferably jam them up, get under them, flip them over. While Son of Wayachi is going to want to try and keep that weapon spinning and try and prevent that flipper from getting underneath them at all costs. Son of Wayachi getting a bunch of mini jabs in there. Firestorm hasn't been able to get underneath Son of Wayachi so far. This could be problematic for them if they're not able to use their primary weapon. So they did manage to jam them up there, but sadly could not get underneath them. Another couple hits by Waichi. Big hit there. Firestorm just struggling to get that weapon underneath them as they lose a big piece of their front. This could be a problem for them if Son of Wayachi manages to get to controls. Firestorm loses a side panel too, so now Firestorm has part of their front and their side completely exposed here. They need to get underneath Son of Wayachi like that as soon as possible, and now they've managed to flip Wayachi. This could be big trouble for them as Firestorm comes in for more. Using that flipper more, gets a big flip in, but flips themselves over in the process. Luckily, they are able to flip themselves back over. Now they're coming in for more here. It's Waichi pinned against the rails there. And now another flip, but that ends up turning Son of Wayachi over. This could be a big problem for Firestorm now that Son of Wayachi's back on their head and getting that weapon spinning again. Son of Wayachi nearly had a shot to the backside. Oh! And down goes the control panel, meaning KO for Son of Wayachi, and they will move on where they will fight 2 Berg 2 Furious in the next round. So now we have our semifinals here for Heat A, as we'll see Cobalt and SubZero fight, and we'll also see 2 Berg 2 Furious take on Son of Wayachi. As we'll lead off the next round of this heat with Cobalt and SubZero, a rematch from Season 4 of BattleBots. Let the rematch begin. SubZero getting an early flip in. They're probably going to want to try and flip Cobalt out of the arena or get them in the pit as early as possible just to avoid damage from Cobalt's vertical spinner. SubZero keeping the pressure on Cobalt very well here. But then Cobalt's been able to self-right every time with ease. SubZero loses a piece of their flipper. SubZero just continuing the pressure here, and here's the first power shot by Cobalt. SubZero now stuck up against the rails. Could this be an early knockout for Cobalt? SubZero having the beginning, but now they're stuck. Cobalt coming in for more. Another big shot that sends them both flying. It's like SubZero lost another piece of their flipper. SubZero landing another blow. Or it's Cobalt landing another blow, excuse me. Cobalt continuing to land another shots to the bottom of SubZero. This will be a big problem as SubZero continues to take this damage as they lose more pieces of that flipper. Another big shot by Cobalt to the underside of SubZero. More pieces coming off. Off came a wheel. Off comes another wheel. SubZero has now lost half of their wheels. Cobalt continuing to push, landing more shots here. Almost turned themselves over, but lands another big blow here. SubZero looks like they're smoking right now. And SubZero now has lost their entire flipping device. This is going to be big problems as they're now just a push bot here. SubZero, who has taken so much punishment in this fight, and yet they're still standing. Big hit. And into the pit goes SubZero, resulting in a knockout win for Cobalt, as Cobalt will be the first bot to advance to tonight's Heat Final. Next up, we have the drum spinner of 2 Berg 2 Furious taking on the full body spinner of Son of Wayachi. find out who will join Cobalt in tonight's Heat Final. Will it be Son of Wayachi or will it be the Berg? Son of Wayachi delivering a massive shot to the Berg to start this one off. Berg coming in full speed, trying to jam Son of Wayachi up or cause them to break themselves in the fight. Smart strategy, but will it work against a powerful spinner like Waichi? So we see already pieces of the Berg coming off. This could be big trouble for them if they continue to lose more parts like this. Son of Wayachi coming out of control here. This could be a problem if the Berg manages to flip them over this way. Son of Wayachi losing a big piece of their weapon, but the Berg isn't doing much better as for their weapon. It's another piece of their drum that just went flying off. This will be a big problem for the Berg if the Berg loses that entire drum spinner. And I think that was just the last piece of their spinner here. The Berg just coming after Waichi, just determined to break that spinner and break down Waichi. Will it be effective? Is Son of Wayachi just landing hit after hit? Another big hit. Can't tell what that was. That might have been part of the front of the Berg. More big hits being landed by Waichi here. Waichi being in full control of this fight as we are near approaching the 1 minute mark in this fight. And right now I'd say Son of Wayachi has just been in complete control of this fight. Uh-oh, here we go. Son of Wayachi has now been flipped over. Could we be seeing a major upset here? And Waiachi's back up. 40 seconds left in this fight here. Berg pushing Son of Wayachi over the floor flipper. Another big hit, and down goes the control board, resulting in a knockout for Son of Wayachi as they will move on and will take on Cobalt in tonight's Heat Final. One thing I did forget to mention at the beginning of this video, the Heat Finals, the semifinal fights, and the Grand Final fights will all be 2 out of 3. So you will be seeing 2 meetings between Cobalt and Son of Wayachi here. So now who will take the first spot in the semifinal? Will it be Son of Wayachi or will it be Cobalt? As Son of Wayachi delivers 2 big hits to start this thing off. Good start for them as Cobalt now getting underneath them. Some big hits to the underside of Waichi. Cobalt flips themselves over as Son of Wayachi loses a part of their weapon. Big hit by Waichi. Cobalt winning one of these exchanges. Son of Wayachi now spinning out of control, heading near a corner. This could be big trouble for them if they can't get going here. Another big hit by Cobalt here. Cobalt sends themselves flipped over in a corner, but now they self-right. But Son of Wayachi now has their control board taken out, so Cobalt wins the first match by knockout. And now we have matchup number 2 coming up next, because these are 2 out of 3. As Cobalt, if they win this, they will go on to the semifinals. And then we got Son of Wayachi looking to even up the score and force a match number 3. Let match number 2 of the Heat Final begin, as Son of Wayachi landing 2 big shots to start it off. There goes a third one. They're underneath Cobalt. Cobalt now getting underneath, already attacking at the underbelly of Waichi. Going over the flame pit. Looks like Waichi lost a wheel in the process. Waichi smoking, and they're going out of the arena. Cobalt wins this fight, and they win the first spot in the semifinals. So Son of Wayachi will go onto the last chance episode where they will fight for one of four wild cards, or it's for four wild card spots in the semifinals. So I would like to say thanks everybody for watching this. If you have any feedback on this first episode that could make the next episodes better, feel free to reply down. And if you enjoyed this episode and look to watch the next bunch of episodes, feel free to subscribe to this channel here.